welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. So, the young lady next to me is in a career that I thought about so many times doing, and I never did it. And I think it's a great career, and it's gone through a lot of changes, but everybody can use what you do. Sitting next to me is Jennifer Vargas, ET Family Travel.
Yep.
So, I don't believe that anybody that is watching this doesn't like to travel.
It's a prayer.
Why did you get into it?
Well, I started off helping my mom when she was doing travel agent before she retired. And just through helping her, I found a real joy in just finding people what they want, what they sometimes even need. They want to get that break away from reality, take a little vacation, blow off some steam. And I found actual joy in doing that. So when she retired, passed the torch to me, and I just jumped right in and guns a-blazing, just took over it so that...
So you've been around it a while.
Yes. I've been an actual agent for 2.5 years now, but prior to that, I was helping my mom for about 4 to 5 years.
My aunt was a travel agent, and I remember we used to use her for everything, and she got paid for everything. Now, airline tickets are not something that travel agents do much anymore. Is that correct?
That's correct. It causes a lot of complications for the clients too. Everything, when you book through a travel agent, everything has to go through the travel agent, including flight changes, anything like that. And it just makes it's a lot easier for the clients to handle those flights themselves. But if it's requested, we're always willing to do it. It's just more recommended that they handle it.
So I'm going to guess, and I'm a guy, so I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to guess that the thing that you do most is cruises?
Cruises and all-inclusives, as well as Disney and Universal. Those are my 4 specialties, if you will.
So when you say Disney and Universal, you're talking about, hey, I live on the Treasure Coast. I want to go to Disney for a week with my family. So you'll book the packages there. Everything is all set.
Yep. We do the theme parks for both Florida and California. So if they're like, I've been to Walt Disney World 50 million times, I want to go to Disneyland, we can do that as well. Even with Disney, they offer Adventures by Disney, which are like expeditions. So, and like river cruises, stuff like that. So it branches out a lot further than just the theme parks here in Florida. We can do any of those destination type vacations.
And I think Disney has a resort in Vero, I think.
They do indeed.
So I've had travel people on before, and I thought at one point in time, because I've done a bunch of cruises, that I would do a riverboat cruise. But I don't know that that's for me. The ships are very different, correct?
Yes, they are. They're usually smaller. They're not like these big, stocky 16-deck cruises like you see with the other cruise lines.
Right.
They're usually smaller because they're on a river. They're not in the ocean. They're smaller, but with that, you get a more intimate experience. And for instance, my personal favorite that I did was the Mississippi River cruise. And it's great because you get to go up and down and see all these historical landmarks and, get all these tours. And it's a good way to kind of see the country that you're doing the river cruise in and kind of learn a little bit more as far as culture, geography, history, all that, all inclusive. So if you're one of those that you really like the learning and to experience it, river cruises can be great.
Oh, I like the eating.
Well, eating's always a plus.
So you take a river cruise. Does it stop at, for lack of a better, different ports?
Yeah, they stop at different, like, depending on the cruise that you do, like the Mississippi River one, it goes from the south all the way up and all the way back, and it stops all along the way. And they even do like half cruises. So if you don't want to go all the way up and all the way back, you can even do like just the first half or the second half and hop on, wherever that second half of that cruise goes.
Right. So I know you go on a cruise and there's a ton of entertainment and a ton of stuff to do. Is river cruises the same?
So there is entertainment. There's food galore. And you also get a little bit more curated entertainment because you're going to those ports and because you're on a river rather than at a big seaport. you're also getting those things to do in those different cities that you're porting in.
Okay, so you port in a city. When you port on a big ocean cruise, there's excursions.
Mm-hmm.
Say other excursions on those.
Yeah, of course. There's mostly it's going to be like I said, those tours, those historical or cultural tours that you get, and it's mainly to kind of show you the city or to show you the different highlights of that city.
To, and I look, if I was doing the Mississippi, and I got to a port, for lack of a better word, I don't know that I would do an excursion. I'm in my country. I feel safe
Yeah.
getting in a cab or Uber or anything like that.
Right.
When you're in other countries, it's really important to watch where you go.
Right.
And if I miss the ship and I don't get back to it in time, it leaves without me, I'm in my country. I know how to get home.
Right. It's a lot easier to get home when you're in your own country.
Yes, it is. Okay, so the thing, I had one of the head guys of a thing called, I think it's called Rocky Mountaineer.
Mm-hmm.
It goes across Canada.
Yes.
They wanted me to come on. They were going to host me. And that was interesting. It was a train ride. So are there many train ride things that are...
I haven't experienced that much. I know I've done a couple quotes and looking at for Amtrak. I'm sure, I mean, we have probably about a 100-page PDF file of suppliers. So I'm sure somewhere in there's those train excursions and train rides. It's just not something I've personally worked with yet.
Right.
But we have unlimited resources galore. I mean, we have a team of 500 agents. We have great leadership staff. So, and our business development managers that work with us for each of these suppliers are great. They're resourceful. So pretty much if there's a will, there's a way. So just because I haven't experienced it yet doesn't mean it's not there.
So what I thought about, one reason I thought about being a travel agent is because you get some great deals traveling. Okay? I remember one of the people who did a show here with me for a bit. They had a tour of one of the new ships.
Mm-hmm.
And they invited us. It was a lunch tour.
Right.
So the ship stayed in port. It was a pain to get on the ship. Okay? Now, things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I first started cruising, you would get on with your driver's license. Mm-hmm. And as long as it was a closed loop tour, mm-hmm. you didn't need a passport.
Correct.
Is that still true?
Yeah, that's still true. Any ship that leaves and returns to the United States, even if it leaves Florida and returns to California,
right.
As long as it leaves and enters, you just need driver's license and birth certificate.
Right.
But you still don't need a passport.
Now, what I found is having a passport makes getting off the ship a breeze.
Yes.
Okay? Compared to having to pull a birth certificate, driver's license. It was a pain, but it was what we had to do. I think most people's biggest complaints about cruising is getting off the ship. Even getting on takes a while on some of the ships.
So they've really advanced. A lot of these cruise lines have started to implement new technology and new ways to make it a more seamless journey, I guess you could say,
right.
to get on board. They've started doing where you pre-send in your documentation. So when you get there, they just verify that what you sent in the photo of matches what you have there. That way they can kind of pre-screen everything and make sure everything lines up. And they usually allow you to do that about 30 days in advance so that they have time to process. If there's any errors, they'll let you know. And you can kind of knock all that mumbo jumbo out ahead of time. So when you're getting on board, it's just that verification and head on board.
Well, people, you're talking about 1,500 to 7,000 travelers.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't just let them all go. Okay?
Right.
There's got to be some organization. What basic complaints do you hear most about cruising?
So I would say probably the most complaints that I get is It really varies depending on the client, but sometimes depending on the cruise line, it could be the food. It could be they're on a cruise and the cruise is filled with kids and they don't want to be with kids.
That would be me.
Yeah, see, personally, I have my kids, so I don't mind kids at all, but that's not for everybody. Everybody has their own little niche.
Yeah, because my daughter's 36. I went through that already. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't need the kids there.
Some people, want the casino, but the casino's too small, or they only have the smoky casino, and it all depends on the client. Everybody has their own thing. It's just like going to a restaurant. Everybody's gonna have their own thing that they like or don't like.
That's correct. And I tell people all the time, and we were talking about this inside, you got to use a professional. If you don't use a professional, and you guys heard me say this, it's going to cost you 5 times more in money and 10 times more in frustration. And one of the stories I heard was somebody took a cruise and something was wrong, but they're already on the cruise. And they tried to call the cruise line, they tried to talk, got nowhere. They booked themselves. So there was no good benefit for them.
Right.
Okay? And the thing about it, and like I said, we spoke about it inside, is that whatever the travel agent is going to cost, it's going to cost you the same booking it yourself. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I look, because I'll look at the online stuff, but then I'll call my travel agent.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you don't know, they know where the rooms are, what's best, what's not best. And any little perks that they can kind of put together for you, they're willing to put together. Cruise lines really, I don't want to say they don't care, but you're just one of thousands of people.
Right.
Where your travel agent is you and the travel agent, and if there's an issue, call the travel agent. They could. Great example. If I call a cruise line because I need an answer, I will have to push 1, 6, 5,
Yes.
and then talk to somebody who doesn't speak any English. You can get on, and you probably have a number, okay, for travel agents. And the other thing that you said that has value to that whole scenario is that if I'm unhappy, then they made one person unhappy.
Right.
If you're unhappy, then you're going to tell everybody not to go on that cruise line.
Correct.
Or whatever that thing is. So it's so important to use a professional. What do you see the future of travel?
So I see for the future of travel, a lot of people, it's hit and miss. I think a lot of people are steering more towards cruises versus like I said, I also do like the all-inclusives and, all those overseas destination type things. But a lot of people are gearing more towards cruises. Safety, comfortability. Again, you don't have to necessarily have the passport. You're getting on and off at home. You're not having to take a flight. So the all-inclusive aspect of a vacation and cruise lines is probably where I see the most momentum as far as future projections as far as travel, because that's just, it gives that sense of comfortability and value. When you get something that's more packaged together in a neat little bow, you've paid your price, you got everything you need. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, when I get on board or when I get to the hotel, I have to pay this for food, this for drinks, this
Right.
for souvenirs, this. All you need is your shopping money. So future of travel is going to be more of those all-inclusive packages and bundles, and we're already starting to see that. A lot of the hotel lines are focusing more on those all-inclusive packages. Cruise lines, they're dwindling down to try to make everything all-inclusive package. You see it with Norwegian with their More at Sea, Princess with their Princess Plus and Premier. They're starting to combine all those Wi-Fis and drinks and food into little packages, so it's just one set price.
When I was younger, and I don't know if my uncle and I would come to Florida, there was the American plan, where all the food was included.
Right.
Well, the dinner and breakfast was included. Do they still do that stuff?
Yeah, they do. They still have those. It all depends. You gotta, again, take what you're looking for, and there's guaranteed for every person's values in their travel, there's a place for it. But rather than you sit at a computer trying to figure out, oh my goodness, where's going to have, I want to do something Caribbean that has all this food included, but I want my own little pool on my balcony. I don't want to have to do the shared pool. I just want my own little plunge pool on my balcony. But now you've got to sit at the computer. You've got to look and research and figure all this out. That's our job. We take all that stress off of you. You tell us what we want, we can find it.
I've been traveling a long time, many years, and my recommendation is always go online, look at the cruise ships and what they offer, the basic stuff, then call your travel agent and say, hey, I saw Norwegian or MSC or Royal or Celebrity has this. Could you check into it?
Right.
That's what I'm looking for. And then what a travel agent will do is they'll then deep dive and find the best of what you got. Because for you, it's like, do I want to leave on the 1st, the 5th, the 11th? Where's the best price?
Right.
And you guys know how to find that really quick.
Yes.
So, lastly, for me, everybody's different. I am happy with a small ship or a medium ship.
Okay.
I think that it's more intimate. I like that I don't have to walk 17 miles to get to the restaurant on one side of the ship. And for me, I also like besides the small ship, I like the shorter time.
Right.
I think a 5-day cruise is perfect. Now, if things were different in my life, meaning if I didn't have businesses and stuff like that, my initial thought was with my brother, so we were going to buy a house. He was going to live there 6 months, and I would live on a cruise ship. I'd come back, he'd go on the cruise ship for 6 months, and I'd live at the house. And that was just living on a cruise ship is is fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you think about what you pay to go on a cruise, I know it sounds like a lot when you say, "Yeah, I'm paying $2,000 for my cruise," but for 7 days, I'm not expecting nobody. But if you like really think about it, I'm going away for 7 days. I'm going to go to Disney. I'm going to do this and that. It's going to cost you more than that. Way more than that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're at top time. How do people find you? You have a phone number?
Yes. So my phone number is 772-348-1265. And then I'm also very much so on Facebook. You can just look up Jen Vargas. And I'll pop up. You'll see my little green circle for ET Family Travel. Or you can find me on the travel agency website at etfamilytravel.com. You just go under About Us, meet our team, and you'll see me right on the list there.
Everybody, I said it a million times. I'll say it one more time. Use a professional. It's going to save you a bunch of frustration and probably some money. With that, have a good day, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.